Hello, didn't see you there. Thanks for stopping by. I want to take this moment to appreciate everybody who has supported the channel and the series. Whether you come in for every single video or whether you pop in every once in a while to watch a video, I definitely appreciate each and every one of you. For those of you who leave likes on the videos and you comment and engage with me, I really appreciate that as well. If you're subscribed to the channel, that's even better. That means you are part of the fellowship. You are part of the Renaissance Gaming Monastery and the family, so I appreciate all of you. I also want to take this moment to send a special thanks to all of the people who have chosen to financially support the channel. So, it's time. Thank you for being my one and only channel member. I definitely appreciate you. And also, Paul, over on Patreon. You are my only patron, and I appreciate you as well. You have been supporting for quite a while, and you always comment on the videos and engage with me, and I really do appreciate that. I usually don't like to shill stuff like this, but if you would like to also support the channel, you too can become a member. You can become a member here on YouTube or Patreon. With either one of those, you are able to get a special role in my Discord server. With a YouTube membership, you also get some badges and cool emotes that you can use in the comment section or any live streams that I do. There are 3 price points for a YouTube membership, and they all have the same benefits. And the reason I did it that way is because I want everybody to be able to support as much as their means can allow them to. You certainly don't have to, but I do appreciate every one of you. And I think that's it for now. Enjoy Season 25 of The Lord of the Rings Online. Welcome to a brand new season of The Lord of the Rings Online. Now, before we get into the action, there are a few housekeeping things to take care of. So, number 1, I do have a gift box in my inventory for 16 years. So let's go ahead and open that. And we got some fireworks. Let me see how these look. There's always fireworks in these. Alright, pretty majestic, I guess. Not much else to say about it. Usually what I like the best is the frame. So I want to put my 16-year frame on. Looking nice. And then since the last time I recorded, they have introduced an update to the game, the difficulty tier system, which basically makes the landscape content a little bit more challenging. And since I'm doing everything over-leveled, I think this is a very welcome change for me to make the game a little bit more challenging, if you will. So, the way I'm going to handle this is I'm going to increase the difficulty tier by 1 every episode until I get to a point where it's comfortable. Now, I don't want to just blow through the content and make it super easy like I have been doing. I do want to take advantage of this new system, but at the same time, I don't want to make it so difficult that, you know, in a 30-minute episode, I only go 100 yards forward because I'm fighting landscape mobs that are way too difficult. So we're going to have to find a good level for me to do this at. So I'm just going to increase it by 1 every episode and kind of play by ear from there. So let's go ahead and start with difficulty 1, Adventurous.
Could I speak with you a moment?
Greetings, traveler. I watch those who stride the roads of Middle-earth in search of challenge and adventure, and you seem to be just the sort. Indeed, there are some who prefer even greater challenges to overcome, and I can assist you with this. Should you accept my boon, you will find enemies on the roads and fields of Middle-earth becoming stronger and more dangerous in your quest for glory. Is this what you desire? Okay. So, let me accept that, and then available quest tasks of heroism.
Could I speak with you a moment?
Bring me tokens of heroism from your battles across Middle-earth, and I shall see to it that you are rewarded. Alright, let's do that.
What can I do for you?
Okay, so are you certain you wish to step foot upon this path? 'Tis understandable if you are weary. Such harsh endeavors are surely not for everyone. So completing this quest will increase the difficulties of enemies. So let's go ahead and finish now. And looks like I got a debuff here. So plus 10% experience gain on monster skill and plus 1% virtue. Now I'm not sure how it becomes more difficult. I assume my character would get a debuff that made him weaker, but I guess we'll have to see when I get into combat. So yeah, I can go back to normal if I want, but right now I'm on 1. So that's that. I've increased the difficulty, and now I will meet you where I left off at the end of the last season in the Osgiliath sewers, and we will begin this season. Alright, so I am back here in the culvert, and there are plenty of quest rings around me. Those are all repeatable quests from the last season. The one I'm interested in is going to be the epic quest that will take me into Old Anórien, the site of this season. So let's go ahead and do Book 4, Chapter 1, The Broken Causeway.
We fall from the Pelennor as we fell from Osgiliath.
The city has been lost, Kippen. Faramir is missing, and his men are dead or captured. We have slowed the enemy's march as much as we could, but now we must see to our own safety. I will bring us by secret passages beyond the enemy camp, and from there, we will make our way to the causeway. And here we are, guys. There is Minas Tirith. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Finally made it. I've been really looking forward to this milestone. And looks like it's already struggling to load a little bit over there, but that's okay. That's okay. Wow, this is pretty epic. I am excited. Let me talk to him.
I cannot stop thinking about Gothmog and the great ram, Grond.
My brother and I left Minas Tirith to seek adventure and hunt the mighty Mumakil. And at the time, it felt a prison. Now I see the White City on the horizon, and it seems a refuge instead. Can its walls stand against the evils that we have beheld? I cannot stop thinking about that frightful apparition, Gothmog. Is it true that he has the power to escape death? What will happen when the great ram Grond is repaired and he brings it across the Pelennor? We will do what we must, as always, and not shrink in fear. Truly, we will let it drive us to greater heights of courage. It seems that some of the defenders of the causeway forts fled before the encroaching army and were slain before they could reach safety. See if any men survived and defeat their pursuers. It could be their injuries were grave, but not yet mortal.
The defenders of Osgiliath paid dearly for their courage.
Osgiliath has fallen and its defenders fled in a great rout. They may have yet purchased some a few hours for the people of Minas Tirith, but they paid dearly for it. Alright. Oh boy, mounted combat is what I see. Now I'm a little worried about increasing the difficulty because, admittedly, I am pretty rusty. I have not played in quite a while because I was busy recording other games for my channel. And I had changed my gambit rotation and all that, so I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how I do. So I have to defeat foes. So I'm assuming I am going to have to fight some of these. Okay. So I guess that wasn't too bad. Yes, that did count. Those little gnats also counted, which is nice. See, I'm reverting back to my muscle memory and using my old gambits before the big Warden update. Need to remember my single target gambits. Thinking like power attack. Yeah, power attack is my 1-3-2. Okay. I think I can take care of some of this. There we go, we got that. Grab that guy. I guess I could switch to ranged. Why don't I do that? There we go. I'm glad those little gnats count. Let me get on the mount. Let me start heading towards some of these soldiers. Check for signs of life, but this man has already succumbed to death. Should be one more soldier here. And there's this guy. Let me switch to melee. Though I got additional aggro here. You know what? Let me use this. Let me harvest some wood. Yeah, so far I am handling this difficulty just fine. Probably because I'm still very over leveled. So probably by next episode we're gonna jump to difficulty number 2. Hold on, give me a second. I have like a little piece of hair stuck on my optical mouse here, and it's screwing up my mouse. All right, I think I got it. Okay. Let me go turn this in.
You found no survivors. Orcs will pay for this.
I am not surprised, but I am disappointed to hear that good men of Gondor were bludgeoned or hewn even after death. We need not further reason to hate orcs, but still they provided for us. We will not forget, and every insult will be repaid tenfold.
This place will soon be crawling with enemies. It is time to leave.
Alright, let me see what some of the armor things here are. They're not very good. I'm just gonna take the heavy one.
Saddle your steed. Tell me when you are ready to ride.
The Pelennor is wide, and it will not be long before it fills with the forces of the enemy. Climb aboard your steed, Kippen, and tell me when you're ready to ride to Minas Tirith. Alright, you know what? Speaking of which, I should probably use my 6-hour mount speed thing. Let's do that.
Quickly now, follow me.
Let us ride to the White City.
Osgiliath is lost, and its defenders flee across the plain. Can they reach the White City before the enemy overtakes them?
Wow. Okay, let's go. I bet there's gonna be some mounted combat thing. There's someone off the road. We must help them. Well, these guys ride super slow. Alright, so lots of enemies here. You have found Faramir, but the young captain is hard-pressed on all sides. I do not know you, stranger, but I can tell by your livery that you're a friend. My men and I must reach the White City, but we were pursued by Southrons. Harry us on foot and horseback, and terrible race attack from the skies. Fight them off, my friend. We must reach the city if we can. The enemy draws near.
Fight!
Alright, we got more here. Messing up my gambits. Trying to get back in the swing of things. A dart flies right by your head, missing by inches. Then another. Faramir has fallen. It's good synchronization there. Oh, that thing landed like right on me.
The White Rider!
It's Gandalf.
For Gondor! For Faramir!
Pretty epic. Kippen. Faramir has sustained a wound, Kippen. Soon the enemy will surround us. He cannot stay here. Ride for the city and I will follow with Faramir and Prince Imrahil. Go now.
Ride for the city!
Alright, off we go, guys. Pretty epic. Looks like the Nazgul's still circling ahead. I'm digging it, man. I'm digging the epic music. The wraiths flying above. This is it, our entrance into the White City. You have come to Minas Tirith. Here we are.
Some dark sorcery lurks within Faramir's wound. I do not like it.
I wish we had met under different circumstances, Kippen, but I am glad you came to Faramir's defense when you did. His wound is not deep, but I fear that some fell sorcery remains within it. He swoons, and he does not respond to our voices. I will bring him to his father in the White Tower. Steward Denethor will want to see what has become of his son. I hope that son and father both will have the strength to come through this. The line is strong, I'm sure they will. Still, for Faramir to be wounded thus, and so soon after word reached us of his brother's demise, it seems that there will be no end to the challenges set before us in these dark days. I wish we could sit and speak in peace of Dol Amroth, my home, but that is a wish that must wait. I go now to the steward.
We must hope Faramir's wounding came not from a weapon of Morgul make.
I do not want you to worry, Kippen, but there is something unnatural about the wound suffered by Faramir during the retreat from the Causeway Fort. I have seen a wound of this type before, but this seems to be greatly accelerated pace, and the healing hands of Elrond are many mountains away. Gandalf sighs wearily. There were many servants of the enemy near Faramir on that field, Kippen. We must hope that his wound was not caused by a weapon of Morgul make, for there will be no hope of a cure if that is to be so. I told Imrahil the same as I am telling you. Do not speak of this worry to Denethor. It may prove unnecessary, but we must not give him reason to despair for the life of Faramir. The young captain is his only remaining heir, and we will need the steward to focus on the battle that is sure to come if Minas Tirith is to stand. Gandalf suddenly stares at you piercingly. Of course I am glad to see you, Kippen, but there is now work to be done, and little time in which to do it. The pleasantries can wait until after the war is done, if that is a boon that we are to be given.
You will need to freely travel throughout the city.
You travel as I do, Kippen, on the wings of the storm. Men may call you a harbinger of dark times, but in truth, we go where we are needed. Today, that is Minas Tirith, the Tower of Guard. You will need to freely travel throughout the city if you are to best serve the people of Minas Tirith. Any obstruction to your free passage will hinder your efforts, and that is a help to the enemy. The city climbs this easternmost spur of the White Mountains, ascending in 7 levels, each separated by a gate. Men of Gondor safeguard greater and lesser passwords for each gate. The lesser passwords change frequently, and the greater passwords will remain for much longer. I will give you my pledge of your trustworthiness. Show it to the guards at each gate, and they will teach you the passwords for each gate. And one more thing, Kippen. The men of Gondor do not know me by the name of Gandalf. They call me Mithrandir, and I invite you to do the same. Alright, so it looks like I need to earn the trust to pass through each level. So here's level 1. Lots of soldiers readying themselves.
We can only hope that the Rohirrim will arrive before it's too late.
I rode to Minas Tirith with Prince Imrahil of Dol Amroth. It has been a long journey, but I'm glad to fight at Imrahil's side. You tell Rosaron that you met his wife, Bruidis, in Todrent on your travels through Belfalos. How is Bruidis then? I bet she's keeping busy. How has Todrent fared with the Corsair invasion I've heard tale of? You tell Rosaron about your adventures in Todrent, where you prevented Corsairs from sacking the town. Brutus has turned the sleepy village of Todrent into a prominent stop for merchants traveling between Dol Amroth and Callambel. This is good news that brightens my spirits, traveler. I do still long to see my home again. Come look at the fire with me. The flame burns bright with hope of Gondor.
When the time comes to fight, I'll be ready.
This fire burns with embers of the signal fire for the lighting of the beacons. The flame before you connects me to each lit beacon. When I see this fire, I can see all the way to Nendath, overlooking the town of Todrent, where Brutus goes about her daily tasks. It is good of her to keep my home a place of beauty and calm in my absence, while I'm out here, protecting the prosperity of Gondor. Thank you for the news, traveler. It gives me hope, and it is a reminder of what I fight for. I shall one day return home. Rosaron longs to return to Belfalos after the war is over. Alright, so we got a deed. Quest in Minas Tirith. Alright, let me head on over to the next quest ring. Yeah, my frame rate is not the best here. Oh well. Let me open up the stables, actually.
How may I help you, friend?
Every minute feels like hours. We can only prepare so much.
The lands east of here are completely ravaged by the enemy. Is it true that you traversed Osgiliath, the Causeway Fort, and Pelennor Fields? I almost cannot believe it. The White City will certainly benefit from your aid, brave warrior.
Every minute feels like hours. We can only prepare so much.
I am Kurugand, head builder in Minas Tirith. I've been overseeing city repairs for many years, though my crowning achievement is without a doubt the Ramas Ekor. Now I have been told that Ramas is being decimated by orcs and trolls. How dare they destroy my livelihood? I would like to start overseeing repairs as soon as it is safe again to leave the city. If you are venturing out in Pelennor, would you be interested in surveying the damages of the Ramas Ekor? While you're out there, know that men still protect the outwall of the South Gate and North Gate. You may be able to lend a hand to Turgon and Ingold. I'm sure they could use it. Alright. And then Masters of Minas Tirith, I have to meet all the people here, I guess, and do quests for them, I'm assuming.
To see this city fall would be a tragedy. But the emptiness is a tragedy all on its own.
With so many people evacuating the city, many homes have been left empty. Unfortunately, there are some honorless thieves that go about and have taken the empty homes as an opportunity, and there aren't enough guards to take care of it. Would you mind looking for some of these foul thieves and teaching them a lesson, and return any stolen goods that they have on them while you're at it? So Hurin is a very important character in the lore of Middle-earth, not this Hurin in specific, but a previous version of him. Homesteads of Gondor.
Something for me?
So this is a housing quest that I'm going to neglect for now. But let me go around the ring here and see if I can find any other quest rings. So you can actually enter these areas. Oh, I don't have the corresponding quest. Okay, never mind. I'll just look for quest rings for now. Suspicious character. It's like a thief.
Mordor will regret challenging the walls of Minas Tirith.
What? No, I wasn't. Oh, forget it. It's all over. There's no point. Spare me. Okay. Gonna keep going around here. I guess I'm gonna do a full perimeter check. Paths of Harion. You know, I heard epic tales of the lag of Minas Tirith, and you know, it's not horrible. The frame rate is pretty bad, but I'm not stuttering or anything, so I'm not complaining too much. Okay. Nice.
Hello there. Might I speak with you a moment?
Hello, traveler. Are you an admirer of music? My band, the Cloudy Heads, has traveled about from Shire to Bree to the Trollshaws to Rohan and out to Gondor. We've come to Minas Tirith to perform in its grand theaters, and we're almost ready. Yet, in a manner of speaking, we are a bit stuck at the moment. The Stone Theater is a lovely place and one I would very much like to show my family back home, but the workers within are far too noisy. We tried to practice earlier and they made such a ruckus that we had to leave. They seem like fine, diligent men, but what good is a theater if it cannot be used by musicians? If you would convince them to shirk their duties even for an hour or two, I would be most grateful. So here is the Stone Theater. Fine, fine. So I shoot away a worker. Shoot that one away. And a third one up here. Okay. Good enough, I suppose. Oh, thank you. Those workers were being much too noisy when we tried practicing in the theater earlier. If we are to perform in the Stone Theater soon, everything must be in order. Sweeping and hammering have no place in a hall of music. I know it was a simple task to ask of one as well-traveled as you, but we are quite in a pickle, you see. Our stagehand, Gothric, has been, well, lacking in his duties as of late. He has spent more of each recent day huddled in local taverns than he has with the band. If you would search the taverns for him, starting at the Wheel and Cask nearby, please tell him that his help is sorely needed. Alright. Very good. And let me look at the map. Wow, this is quite confusing. So I made it all the way up here to the east end. So let me start heading back this way. The Wheel and Cask. Pretty cool name for a tavern. You know, I'm a big fan of these classically named pubs that's usually like the noun and noun. Like the Bird and Baby Inn, and I think that's a nice way to name a tavern. So nothing much here in this corner. Let me go to the other side. You see a dwarf tucked away in the shadows of the tavern.
What is the meaning of this?
What do you want? Guthric is clearly enjoying his time at the Wheel and Cask, but you inform him of Pola's request to return. Ho ho, I do not think so, Hobbit. I have had enough of their demands, and not nearly my fill of these fine drafts. This is wartime. There are barely enough people to mount even a meager showing. I don't know what Pola is on about. If these are to be my final days, am I to spend them lugging around instruments and picking up after Gord and the others? Nay, I am finished with them. Tell her that I quit. You're welcome to take my place, but do not say I didn't warn you. Okay. So it looks like I'm gonna have to be doing all his work for him. Definitely noticing the loading screens are much longer as well here. Let's keep moving. Wait a minute, where'd she go? Wasn't she supposed to be out here? She is. I guess her acid hasn't loaded in yet. There we go. Had to wait a little bit.
How'd you do?
He quits? He can't quit. This will not do at all, Kippen. We cannot manage our performances without a stagehand. It simply is not possible. What do you think of Guthric's offer to join us? He seems to have painted us in a rather grim light, but I assure you we are good folk. If you're uncertain, why don't you speak around to the others and introduce yourself?
At your service and your families.
Hello, Kippen. Pola has been talking to me about you since you first arrived, and I haven't seen her this excited in some time. For my part, I am glad to finally have a word with you. Truth be told, we are all a tad anxious to perform. We came to the city just before the battle intensified, and now it seems that we are trapped in here with the folk of Gondor. We only came to perform a show, but if it could be our last, I would prefer it to be our finest. Gothric is a fine dwarf, and I am disappointed that our paths are no longer aligned. Perhaps the fate of Gondor weighs too heavily on him. We could all use a bit more joy in such times. If you would join us, perhaps it might lift the gloom hanging over the city.
Greetings.
Holler is playing a drum as you approach, but does not stop as you begin to introduce yourself. Instead, he simply talks over it as he introduces himself in turn. Ho there, Kippen. I did hear your name correctly, didn't I? It is nice to meet you, and even nicer for you to take up Gothric's duty in his absence. Oh, you haven't accepted yet? Ha, I must be getting ahead of myself. Robo and I are busy practicing a little tune of ours, and I'll get back to it now if you don't mind. If you haven't met Robo, make sure that you introduce yourself to him. He is a fine hobbit, he is.
How do you do?
Hello there, I am Robo Gritsback, and you may call me Robo. I am a practiced lutenist and one of the two founders of the Cloudy Heads, along with my dear friend Pola. Am I to understand that Gothric has abandoned his position in the band? A shame. I'd rather grown to like having so many dwarves around. They remind me of home, as strange as that might sound. In the meantime, I hope you consider Pola's offer. I am glad to have you around as we ready ourselves for the biggest show yet.
What can I do for you?
Pola sent you to talk to me. I'm glad to meet you, but as you can see, I am busy at the moment. Gord nods downwards at the crowd of women gathered before him. Gothric has quit, eh? It's just as well. You'll do fine in his stead. Now then, shouldn't you be off meeting the others? Sorry for the interruption, ladies. J.R.R. watches as you approach, but gives no reply as you introduce yourself. She merely smiles and returns to walking about the garden.
Hello there.
I hope the others gave you a warm welcome, Kippen. Don't mind J.R.R. She's a bit of an odd one, I might say so. You seem to like a fine hobbit. Robo and I have come a long way from the Shire and have met many friends along the way. I will be glad to count you among them. If you would like to join the Cloudy Heads, you need only say the word, and we can get to work.
Could I take a moment of your time?
Well, we're still talking, so I'll take that as a yes. Thank you, Kippen. It'll be worth your time, I promise. The Cloudy Heads are a good bunch, and we take care of our own. To that end, Gord wished to speak to you about some sort of matter. He wouldn't be specific, but then again, I've come to expect that from him. If I were to wager, I guess he might be a bit apologetic for such a terse introduction. Why don't you speak with him and find out? Alright, so let me speak with him. Him trying to entertain all the groupies here.
What do you need?
It is good to see you again, Kippen. I'm sorry for the manner of my introduction. I did not wish to come across so dismissively. You informed Gord that Pola knew that you would say something along those lines. She truly knows me, doesn't she? I was a bit distracted by the crowd, you see, but I am beyond the initial shock of their gathering. I assure you, you seem to be helping out, and if Polo's happy, I'm happy. I'll not mince words. The Stone Theater will not work for our performance. My voice sounds abysmal in that space, and it seems a waste to perform in such conditions. I was hesitant to bring this up with Pola, as it has been a problem in the past as well. But perhaps, if you do, she'll be more receptive. What do you say, my friend? Oh, Gord, if he thinks that trying another theater will make a difference, so be it. Goodness knows we've had enough troubles this time. I know of another theater in the 5th Circle named the Hall of Air. We'll pack up and travel there in a few moments. We need to resolve this soon, or the war will be at our doorstep before we get a chance to play. Do meet us there when you are ready. Okay, so it looks like I will meet them again once I make it to the 5th level. But for now, I need to go the other side of this initial ring. So let me ride all the way around. I think there will be plenty of quests to do as I make my way all the way to the top and finally meet Denethor, I'm assuming. See up here, there's nothing there. Take a quick look at the map. Yeah, I'm still going all the way around. I haven't even made it back to the central area. Okay. So back to the main area here. Now I'm gonna go that way. Wait a minute, quest ring? No, that's the homestead quest. Never mind. I'm gonna keep moving this way. Let me go to this quest ring here.
Have I mentioned I am friends with the Prince of the Halflings?
Greetings. Not 4 days past, I met the Prince of the Halflings, and now you. Does a Halfling army follow to come to Gondor's aid? When you tell him that there is not, he seems crestfallen. A moment later, his face lights up again. But you are full grown, like he, are you not? And a friend of the city? Then you should walk with me. I'll show you things to see. And we go places, and I would be shooed away from, were I alone. Here, take this whistle. If somehow we get separated, you sound it, and I'll come running. A stroll with Burgil. First, let us go and look upon the ranks of soldiers by the gates. There have never been so many out and at the ready, as far as I can recall. And I am no small boy. I am 10 years old and soon shall be 5 feet tall. Okay. So, we gotta go see the soldiers, but first, let me kind of keep going this way. And yeah, okay. This way. Trying to get to that little quest ring, but I don't see how to get to it on the mini-map. You know what? I'm just gonna go to this one instead for now. Look at this scoundrel.
Every minute feels like hours. We can only prepare so much.
These are mine. I was just moving stuff. No, this was my chance. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Okay, so I taught another rascal a lesson. Get on the pony. Let me keep moving this way. There should be another scoundrel right here.
Mordor will regret challenging the walls of Minas Tirith.
Get out of here. You have no authority here. Don't you have more important things to be doing? I was going to put it back, I swear. Alright, we're going to do a little bit of a longer episode today. It's always nice to start the season off with a little bit of a longer episode. Especially when you reach such a big milestone, you know? We're in Minas Tirith. My god. Alright, another scoundrel.
Every minute feels like hours. We can only prepare so much.
Thank goodness you're here. Some shady character just ran off after dropping this bag of goods. I think they went that way. I deserve these. You won't stop me from taking what I deserve. I yield, I yield. Looks like the other characters might be at the higher levels. See, there's some like all the way up here. I don't know, there's one here, one there. Let me just head back. Let me head back to that central area. I'm definitely noticing the decreased frame rate, but it's really not horrific, all things considered. It must be a nightmare to optimize this from a game design perspective when you're building such a massive city like this. I don't know, this is pointing me backwards. Yeah, let me head back real quick, because there's this ring here that I haven't figured out how to get to. Unless it's up there somewhere. Like on the upper level. Let me see if there's a way to get there. I don't think so. I might have to come from above. Or never mind. Here we go. There we go. Accidentally talked to that kid.
Mordor will regret challenging the walls of Minas Tirith.
What do you want? Mind your business. They weren't coming back for their property anyway. Okay, okay, just take it and let me go. Alright, let me get out of here. And there's a quest ring up there somewhere. I'm not going to worry about it too much for now. Just going to head back here. You find a good view of the soldiers assembled. Let me dismount and talk to the kid. There they are. If only the sun were shining, how fine their gleaming arms and armor would be. Look, there are the others over there. Let us get a close look at those ones too. Wow, look at them. Why, were I the enemy, I would throw down my weapons in despair. What are those soldiers over there? We should see. You boy, you don't belong here. Get out of my sight. Skulking urchins, eh, Hanar? Always underfoot. Cross my sight again and you'll earn a bruise to show for it. As you turn away, a swan knight of Belfalos catches your eye.
We can only hope that the Rohirrim will arrive before it's too late.
The knight gives the slightest of nods to you and then addresses Birgil. It pains me that even in this dark hour we cannot count on each other for common kindness. Yet it is ever so. Young man, know that he raised his arm to you, I would have intervened, and I saw clearly that this hobbit, your companion, was one breath away from doing the same. But someone elder and stronger than you cannot always be by your side. I therefore counsel you to look before you step, and learn to judge the character of men before you are within their striking range. Look into their eyes. You will learn to know. See that one there? Who so discourteously spoke to you? An unhappy storm is writ upon his face. You may grow to be strong, and maybe even take the trappings of a knight in your time. But a cautious step and keen judgment will guard you from the blows that no armor ever can. Alright. A cautious step. And what was it? Clear judgment? I must commit these words, for they seem good ones to live by. Fa, I am shaken a bit from that mean fellow, though I do not like to admit it. Let us look elsewhere, on something more pleasant. See those horses over there? Shall we feed them some apples? Where are the horses? They're like quest rings kind of popping up all over the place here. On the mini-map. Oh, I guess I do need to go into stables. Interesting. Very nice. I don't know if this is where I'm supposed to be. Oh, I need to take some apples first. I need to grab the apples. Where are the apples? Not seeing any. Let me talk to this guy, though.
The enemies of men approach. I hope you are prepared.
Many have faith that the Rohirrim will arrive to aid us. I fear that folly may have befallen the riders. Perhaps all is not lost, though. I have been told that you have spent much time out in Pelennor, safely navigating through the thick of the enemy. Would you be willing to ride north of Minas Tirith into Far Anórien and search for the riders? You should speak with Bragadal and Krithos. He's a trustworthy ally, an errand rider of Minas Tirith. I sent him to Krithos on a special mission to seek information on the whereabouts of the riders. His knowledge of safe travel through Far Anórien is unmatched. Ride swiftly, my friend, as time is short. Okay. Very good. Where are the apples? The city stables stand across from the gates. That's where I went in. Maybe I missed the apples in here. Let me take a look. There they are. There are the apples. Alright, let's see. I got an IM. Probably from one of you guys. Probably a fan. Hail, friend. Enjoying the laggy white city of Gondor? Wow, it's like you read my mind. In fact, I'll tell him that. It's like you read my mind. Alright, so, you know what? That kind of reminds me to tell you guys something that I've been meaning to tell you. Whenever you comment on these videos, if you're commenting about something very specific, it's helpful if you put a timestamp, because sometimes people will comment, like from the Angmar season years ago, and they'll say, oh yeah, that was a funny comment you made. You know, I can't remember what comment I made, so sometimes it's helpful if you put a timestamp to what you're referring to in the comments, so that way I can rewatch that part and respond to your comment appropriately. Anyway, just something I wanted to bring up, because that happens quite often. Alright, and then also, if you do send me an in-game message, don't be too offended if I don't respond. I did respond to this guy, but don't be too offended if I don't respond, because obviously my main focus is to record. And then usually when I stop recording, I try to respond a little bit as well. Anyway, I'm just feeding the horses while I'm yapping away. Where am I supposed to find 5 more horses? Guess all these here at the front. Right, I need 2 more. It's weird because not all these horses count. You have to find like the right ones to feed. That one counts. This one does not. This one does not. None of these on this side. Kind of weird. You kind of have to guess like which horse is going to work. But there you go. What teeth? It's not only horses who enjoy a treat now and then. With you along, I might be allowed in Foodmonger's Market. There is a monger there, Himmer he is called, who likes me well enough and might give me something to eat. Burgle's face grows serious and seems to think for a moment. What that knight said about kindness was also very fine. Perhaps I should ask the right way. Himmer will send food to all the children. Yes, let's go find him. Ah, I walked away before I hit continue. Okay, so that is going to do it for this episode. I hope it was a nice little introduction into Old Anórien. I'm pretty excited about it. It's fun to be in here. I'm excited to do all the quests and then hopefully reach a climax in the battle for Minas Tirith. So we'll see how it goes. My god, this kid looks like a giant next to me. He's 10 years old and he looks like an absolute giant next to me. Anyways, that's enough. See you next time.
Thanks for stopping by the Renaissance Gaming Monastery. I hope you join our community on Discord and Twitter. These videos are produced with a lot of hard work and love. If you think they're worth $1, I'd be grateful for your contribution. You can send a thanks donation or become a member on YouTube. You can also support through PayPal, Patreon, or even with cryptocurrency. All links are in the description. See you on the next video.